Don't you just love the challenge rating system in D&D 5th edition? Isn't it just great how it allows a dungeon master to perfectly design an encounter of the desired difficulty, easy, medium, hard, or deadly for their group of characters? I mean, it is awesome to never have to worry about an encounter being too easy or too deadly or leading to a TPK that should have never happened. Yeah, right. The horrible, crappy challenge rating system we have is probably one of Dungeon Master's primary complaints in the game. It would be great if the CR system worked better, and one would love to look to Wizards for help with the matter, but you're not going to get that. Instead, what struggling dungeon masters are getting are more and more overpowered character options that make using the challenge rating system even more haphazard and pointless. So today, I'm going to give you 6 pointers on how to fix the challenge rating system for your games so that it actually works and maybe makes your life a little bit easier. I mean, it'll kind of work. It'll be better than it is right now. But first, are you looking for new, intriguing adventures for your group to go on? Adventures set in a unique campaign world where a race of birdfolk rules from the mystical tree city of Elderheart? Welcome to Humblewood Tales, a companion book to the Humblewood campaign setting for 5th edition, now live on Kickstarter. Gather your party and embark on 5 new Humblewood adventures for levels 3 to 8, where you'll encounter pirate mercenaries, face off against a slime king, take on the Elmerithian Kren in a nightmarish dreamscape, and much more. Brought to you by Hit Point Press, Humblewood Tales is now live on Kickstarter at the link below. Number 1, at low levels, make encounters easier. At the low levels, characters are squishy, and the challenge rating system just doesn't account for that. You could take a CR2 ogre and put it against a group of 5 level 1 characters, and according to the challenge rating calculations, it's only a hard encounter. However, let me tell you a thing or two. That ogre is likely to murderize one PC every single turn. If the battle lasts 3 rounds, which is likely once the PCs start dropping, you're going to have 3 dead characters on your hands. So why doesn't the CR system pop that as a deadly encounter? So what you want to do at the lower levels, we'll say tier 1, levels 1 through 4, is be careful. Only throw medium encounters at your players, especially at levels 1 and 2. You gotta let them get some meat on their bones before you throw hard and deadly encounters at them, meaning hit points and survivability. And keep an eye on how much damage a monster can do when considering using it. If a monster can do enough damage to one-shot kill a single PC, even if you only intend to use one of them, it's probably a bit too much. Also, when you're doing your adventuring day calculations, you know, the often overlooked mechanic on page 84 of the Dungeon Master Guide that tells you how many encounters of what difficulty a group should be able to take on before they need a long rest, bear in mind that at levels 1 to 4, characters might need to take long rests more often. And that's okay! Be merciful, fellow Dungeon Masters. Withhold your heavy hand of doom for just a bit. They will soon be level 5, and then you can unleash the inferno of hellfire upon your players' precious characters. Number 2, at levels 5 through 10, things actually kind of work. Yeah, I mean, at levels 5 through 10, you should be able to mostly use the challenge rating system and adventuring day calculations as written from the Dungeon Master Guide. It almost feels like the game designers ignored balance for early levels and then assumed that no one would make it past level 10, so they just ignored it there too. I mean, that's kind of fair because many groups do dissolve and crumble apart before they ever reach the 1-year mark of the campaign. But we are still not going to forgive the game designers. No, not ever. By the way, if you're finding this video helpful or just want to make me feel better so I don't go off and cry in the corner later, please give me a thumbs up and leave a comment for the algorithm down below. Let me know about a time you horribly miscalculated the challenge rating of an encounter and what terrible things befell the poor characters. Number 3, at levels 11 through 16, it's kind of touch and go, so play things by ear. This is where things get more challenging for you, dear Dungeon Master, and it's hard to give you a standard rule of thumb for tier 3 play because it really depends on the strength of your players' characters. Did they use classes and feats from the player's handbook, or did they use the increasingly overpowered character options from books like Tasha's? If the characters aren't that powerful, the CR system and adventuring day calculation calculations might come fairly close to working. However, if your players are going hog wild with new character options from the new books, or they as players are just really good at tactical combat, they are going to be fairly powerful, and the CR system should only be used as a guideline. You should use the challenge rating math to get you in the ballpark, but then adjust things based on your experience with your group and how easy or hard past encounters have been. Use your gut. If your characters are constantly cleaning up, maybe it's time to start throwing more hard and deadly encounters their way. If they're struggling, ratchet things down a bit. I personally had this struggle with one of my groups for a little bit. I was accustomed to throwing fairly challenging encounters at other groups I ran games for, but this particular group was just struggling for whatever reason. I think it was probably a combination of suboptimal character build, which isn't a bad thing, it's just a role-playing choice, and new players who weren't good at tactical combat. I really can't say tactical. Tactical is a hard word for me. I do apologize. It's like chieftain. Chieftain. It's supposed to be chieftain. I understand that. But I say chieftain. So anyway, things were touch and go for a while, and I had to experiment a bit to bring the challenge rating of encounters and adventures to a point that they felt about right. Number 4, at the highest levels of play, throw the CR system out the door. I mean, once characters reach levels 17 and beyond, they're practically all-powerful demigods, and they can overcome deadly encounter after deadly encounter without batting an eye. They have access to the most powerful abilities, the most powerful spells, and presumably, they've been playing the game long enough to reach these levels that they've learned a thing or two about tactical combat and working together as a team. Throw hard stuff at high-level characters. I've thrown encounters at high-level characters that are 5 times the deadly threshold, and they defeated their foes in just a few rounds and barely broke a sweat. It's time to get nasty, Dungeon Masters. It's time to pull out the big guns. Don't hold back. My suggestion is to throw crazy stuff at your players, slowly ratcheting up the difficulty until you find the sweet spot. You won't know exactly where it lies without experimenting because it depends heavily on the specific classes and builds your players are running. For instance, if you have a high-level paladin or cleric in the group, you would be amazed at the challenges a party can overcome with ease. Things just depend, so you need to experiment a bit. Number 5, consider action economy. When we say action economy, we are really just talking about the number of things a PC or monster can do on its turn. And in the context of combat, we're talking about how many attacks they can do. So if you have 4 characters who can make 1 attack per round, and they're fighting 2 monsters who can make 2 attacks per round, well, each side has 4 attacks per round, and we would say that the action economy is even. And here's the thing, when the action economy is close to being even, the challenge rating system works a whole lot better. However, when action economy is lopsided, the CR system breaks down a bit, and the tides of war will shift to the side with greater action economy. Now, someone might object here and say that the CR system has built into it math that accounts for this, and yeah, you're kind of right. However, in my experience, it doesn't work that well, and DMs still need to pay attention to it. So here's what you do. If action economy favors the bad guys, consider the challenge to be a bit higher than the CR system would indicate. And if the action economy favors the good guys, as in the case of a large group such as 8 players or taking on a solitary creature such as in a boss fight, consider the challenge to be lower than the CR system would suggest. Number 6, stop worrying about balance. And now is the point in the video where I contradict everything I've just said. Kind of. Here's the thing, D&D games are not always about balance. In fact, I would argue that you don't want every single encounter and every single adventure to be perfectly balanced for the PC's level. Having a variety of encounter difficulties, easy fights, medium fights, deadly fights, etc., is a good thing. It allows your players to feel like heroes on the one hand, but also challenged from time to time on the other hand. An easy fight is a reward for the work they've put in to gain their current level of power. And a challenging fight, won through sweat, blood, and tears, is also a reward. It gives them pride in a current hard-won achievement, not just past ones. And this holds true for all tiers of play. Have a variety of difficulties your players confront. It will make the game far better than if everything were perfectly balanced to be neither too easy or too hard. And every so often in my games, I do a thing. I present a monster that is so incredibly powerful that the characters have no possible way they could defeat it in battle. This reinforces the reality of the game world. There are nasty things out there that you might run into that are way above your pay grade. And when you run into them, you had better have something else in your pocket besides a longsword or a fireball spell, because those two solutions might just get you killed. You see, doing this from time to time gives the players an opportunity to, or rather forces them to, resolve an encounter through means other than combat. And the converse is true too. Sometimes characters in my games run into creatures that are pitifully weak compared to them, and there's no sense in even rolling initiative. It is a given that if the characters want to murder the creatures, they can. So if combat does come about, we simply resolve things narratively, and I ask my players to collectively describe how that combat goes. No dice needed. Click on the screen now to learn about our new skill challenge system for D&D 5th edition, or to become a DM Lair patron, get an issue of Lair magazine every month, and play D&D with me. And until next time, bacon! What, you thought you'd get through a video without a single bacon comment? Ha!